Hello my fellow developers and welcome to this video where I'm going to help you set up and configure your Linux coding environments. So simply a few steps that needs to be done so we all can start on the same page and everyone is ready to start coding. So these steps are simply installing Node.js, and then after that for our package manager we will install a bun, and then if you don't want to use it, you want to use like npm or pnpm or yarn, that's of course your choice, no problem, but I want to use the latest and the best, which is bun. And then after that, we will set up and configure our MySQL server locally and then create the database that we'll use for our projects. Then after that, we'll just do the simplest thing ever, which is installing VS Code. And lastly, we'll just install a Git. Very simple stuff. If you've done any of those things, you can just simply skip. I'm going to have some timestamps so you can skip to the parts that you want. So this starts by opening our terminal and making a little update. So we can go sudo apt and then update like this. And then when it's done, to get the latest versions of the applications that we can install. So let's see what version is going to give us for Node.js. So to install Node.js, we can simply go sudo and then apt and then install and then Node.js simply. And then when you do that, it's going to start installing Node.js for us. So let's wait a little bit. So it is done. Now let's check which version it's installed. So we can go node and then -v, and then when we do that, we will see that we have version 10 right here, which is not what we want. This is what we get by default. So we need to update that. How do we update that? Is simply, I have this command for you, which is simply using curl to update the version of Node that we need to tell Linux that we want this version, not the other one. But you need curl for it. So if you have curl, let me just go curl and then --help. If it gives you something that's already installed, it's already installed. If not, you simply gotta go and then use simply sudo apt and then install and then curl again, and it's gonna install curl for you. I'm already done it. And then after that, simply paste this command right here, which is gonna update the source of the dependency and the application that we install, which is Node, and let's make sure that it's installed the version 20 and above. Okay, nothing else. So when we do that, you click enter and now it updates. So let's wait a little bit. So it's downloading and installing the prerequisites. So let's wait. So it is done right now. So now if you go do the little updates again, so we can go sudo apt and then update, and notice with me what's going to happen. We will see right now right here another addition, which is the source for our Node.js with version 20 added right here. So now if you go back node-v, it's a version 10. So we have to install it again, and it will install the version 20. So simply you're going to go sudo apt and then install and then Node.js like this. And then boom, which is going to say yes, it's going to update the previous version that we have. So now it's downloading the newer version, which is version 20, that we all will be using in this video. So let's wait a little bit and come back. So it is done again. So now let's try and see which version we have. So node and then -v, and we have version 20 right here installed. So that was very nice. So those are the first steps to installing Node.js. So now we are done. Now we can also check version for npm, and then we have version 10.7, which is the same as the other installations we had for other operating systems. So pretty cool. Now we need to install bun, which also we're going to follow the instructions that they give us. So we can just go bun in the browser. So let me go full screen here, and then we're going to go to bun. So for right here for Windows, this is the installation, already done that. For Linux, this is how we do it. So we just simply can copy this, and we're going to use curl again. So go back to the terminal and then paste that here and then click enter. And simply this is going to install a bun for us. Okay, so let's wait a little bit. And then you can see bun is installed. So we can go bun -- version, let's say, yeah, and we have it here. So bun is installed. You can verify that. So you can go and like check, you know, whatever we have right here. So we have the desktop. We can go inside our desktop, cd desktop. So like this, and then simply you can create an application right here. So let's initialize a project. First of all, let me create a projects folder right here, and then let's go inside it. So you can go cd and then projects, and then inside here we can just go bun and then init, and we'll initialize the project. Let's go everything by default. So let's wait a little bit. So it is done right now. So if we go ls and we see the files that we have, this is what we have inside. We can go by folder. So let me go back to the desktop. So if you go back right here, we created this projects folder, and it has, you know, our application created by bun. Okay, so this is not our actual application. I'm just showing you that bun is working right here. So and simply now you can simply open this with nano or you can just go cat and then see what the files have inside, like index.js or .ts. So let's go for that. So let's go nano and then index.ts and read that. So we have console log hello via ban. So to exit, just go Control X, and then now let me do that again, and let me try to change something. So hello via, let's just go hello from, and I'm just gonna add my name right here, and then Control X, and then we can use Y to save, and then enter, and we saved. So now let's run this and see what's gonna show us. So we just simply can go ban and then index.ts and click enter, and we have console logged right here, hello from Muhammad Haji, which is my name. Okay, so this is just a side thing, so just playing along with ban a little bit to see if it's working fine. So yeah, this was not necessary, but you know, just making sure that ban is working. So that's it for ban. Everything is working with ban right now. So the next step is simply now installing and configuring our MySQL server. So again, let's open our terminal right here. So when we do that, now we're gonna go sudo apps and then install and then MySQL and the server, and then click enter, and it's gonna start installing. I've already done that, so let's just wait a little bit till it's done. So MySQL is done installing. Now let's clear the terminal. So clear, and now let's make sure the MySQL server service is running. So we do that by using sudo, and then we use system control, and then we will use start to start the server, and then we'll go MySQL.service like this, and that's gonna start. So make sure it's actually working. What you have to do is just go and look for the status of MySQL right here, and you will see the green dots right here, which means it's running. If you get a red dot, that means it's not running. So you have to do sudo system control start MySQL.service. So after this, now we need to configure MySQL. So we have to go inside the MySQL command prompt. So how do we do that? We go sudo and then MySQL. But when you do that, you have to specify which user you're gonna use, which is gonna go -u, and then we have to specify the user, which is root. So this is like the admin, and we're gonna go enter. So this is gonna allow us, because the root now doesn't have any password set, because this is the first configuration. So if root has a password, it's not even gonna allow us enter MySQL, but because this is a fresh installation and the root doesn't exist with a password, so it's gonna allow us, but next time we have to provide the password. So that means in the configuration right now, we have to alter our root user and change the native password and make it the new password that we will use. So follow carefully with me what we have to do. So we're just gonna go alter and then user. So we have to alter user. That means we have to modify a user. Which one? Which is gonna be root, and the root inside the localhost. So localhost, okay. So the root in the localhost, and then simply we have to specify which value you want to change, which is gonna be a value that is called the MySQL native password. So that's the one that we will have to change. So we're gonna go identified with, and now we have specified the value, which is MySQL the native password. So the native password, the default one, we have to change that. Let's just change the U to a Y. So MySQL native password, and then by, and we specify the password. So here you specify the password. It's gonna be a strong password. So let me just paste a strong password right here, and then simply now let's click enter. So alter user root localhost identified with the MySQL native password by, and then the new password. Let me click enter, see if this is right. So I've done that. So as you can see, query okay, and 0 rows affected. Okay, so let me try now and close the terminal. So close terminal, let me open it again, and let's see if we use sudo right here and then MySQL and then -u, and we specify the root. So sorry, -u, and then we specify the root and click enter. As you can see right here, now we get access denied for user root because we didn't specify the password. So now if you want to be allowed to go inside, you have to use -p. So it's gonna ask you for the password. If you enter a wrong password, I click enter. So let me go back. If I click something wrong and enter, I will get access denied again. Now let me get the actual password that we had. So let me copy that. So copy that, and now let me actually paste, do this again. And then let me paste this. So paste and click enter. And as you can see, now we are inside MySQL with the root, and then we're using the password that we just configured. So now let's actually show the list of the databases we have right here. So I have a problem. So data and then bases, and click enter. Now we can see the databases that we have. let's create a database. So too many typos, database, and let's call this, for example, test, and they click enter. And now if we re-listed the databases, you can see we have a new database that is like right here test. Okay, so you can do anything just normally with your MySQL commands. So let's say, for example, now let's create the actual database or that we're gonna need. So let's go and create database. So and let's name it Multivendor and then Ecommerce. Okay, this is the actual, so without the E right here. So Multivendor Ecommerce. So we have created that. Now if you want to select a database, you can use and then select the name of the database. Now we are inside it. You can create like a table, and then you can name it anything like user, and then right here you specify the values like the ID, and it's gonna be an integer, and it's gonna be auto increment, for example, increment, and then primary key, for example, and then specify the second value, which is gonna be name, which is gonna be varchar, and then it's gonna have like 50 characters. Okay, and then not null, for example, and then click enter, and you will see it right here. So now if you go and then describe the table we just created, which was which one, user. Okay, describe user, we are already inside test. So if we describe it, this is the settings that we created for the user table. We had an ID, which is an integer, and then simply it has auto increment, and it's the primary key, and we have name, which type is varchar 50. So very simple. I'm just doing the most basic stuff with MySQL. We're not gonna do this actually in our code, like in our course, because we're gonna do this like by using like a Prisma interface, which is gonna be more fancy than just simply typing this right here. So this was for the MySQL server, and we're done with that. Now it's time to install VS Code, which is pretty easy. Just go to your Ubuntu software right here and look for code. This is VS Code. Just click install. I've already done that, and that will install it for you. And just simply go for VS Code in your menu. And simply now VS Code is going to be running on your Linux operating system. It's a very basic one. In the next videos, we will actually talk about VS Code. We're going to make it look good and also going to make it function better. And that's it for VS Code. If you don't have like some sort of source or install code format, I'm going to leave this guide for you. Pretty simple thing to do, just to install it using sudo apt, for example. So you're just using apt, and will install all the dependencies needed, and it will install VS Code for you. Because this is easy, we need to jump to Git, okay? Because we need to manage our changes and keep track of the changes we make, and then we push to GitHub, etc. All that stuff, we need Git for it. So look for Git, and then look for the downloads page, and then go for Linux right here, and it's gonna give you the command to do this. Let me zoom in. Pretty simple. We can install it. If you have like a Debian like me, so I have Ubuntu right now, I can use just apt and then to install Git. So let me open the terminal right here and just go sudo and then apt and then install and then Git right here. And yeah, it's done. I've already done that. So now if you go git and then dash and then help, simply we will see the command. So that means it's already installed. And that's it. So we are done. If you have any issues, you can always post questions, and I'm going to try to help as many as possible. And also the developers will try to help you, as we're going to try to create a community that helps each other. That's what we need to do with this course. So everyone is going to learn and also learn how to help others. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you had everything working well for you, and see you in the next video.